Well, good morning, friends. You're watching the Morning Report. Well, we don't do fluff. We don't do spin. We do facts with a healthy dose of reality. This morning, we're covering a story that the corporate media is already trying to tuck behind a polite headline. Former President Joe Biden has been diagnosed with aggressive prostate cancer. Now, we're going to break all this down. The diagnosis, the timeline. We're going to talk about the questions that you have in your head. Like, and why now? We're also going to ask those hard questions. Like, how long have we been lied to? And to be clear, this segment isn't about cheering for a man suffering. As you all know, we said here on this program for a long time that it seemed like elder abuse for the machine, and especially Dr. Jill Biden, to allow this man in his diminished state to go through what the machine put him through, especially after the death of his son, Beau. It just seemed cruel. So this is not about his suffering. We are, especially at Fight Back Media and the Lawson household, we're sad about this diagnosis. Now, we also understand, because we have done the wife and I have done some work and some research into prostate cancer. We understand that a lot of men will die with prostate cancer. It was one of the cancers that men have. Well, because only men have prostates, but it's extremely common, and we'll get into that too. But this is about calling out a system that hid this, and what that means for the country. That frankly we deserved better answers, and when it mattered. Okay. Let's start by making sure that we understand the medical reality. Again, prostate cancer is one of the most common cancers in men. The prostate is a cancer, the prostate is a small gland about the size of a walnut, and it's located just below the bladder. Hang on a second and I'll show you. There you go. You can see in this exam photo here where the prostate is. It's right, see where the bladder is? And it's right below the bladder. Now, its job is to produce the fluid that nourishes and transports sperm. Now, aggressive prostate cancer means the cells aren't just sitting there. They're growing fast and spreading quickly. For most older men, prostate cancer is a kind of wait and see what happens, because like I said before, a lot of older men will die with prostate cancer and not die from it. So in order to keep people from going through all sorts of unnecessary treatments, a lot of people choose not to, because they will most likely die of old age or something else before they die of the cancer. But when it's aggressive like this, the cells just aren't sitting there. They're growing fast, and they're spreading quickly. And they're harder to treat. That's why what the former president has isn't this wait and see kind. It's the kind that demands surgery, radiation, and sometimes hormone therapy, and round-the-clock monitoring. Here's a diagram, hopefully to make this a little clearer. You can see here in the healthy prostate, there is very small It's not enlarged, but in the enlarged prostate with tumors, you see the tumors are contained inside the prostate, and they will stay there, or they'll be small enough to stay there. They won't spread. In aggressive prostate cancer, those spread. So once it escapes the prostate, it can move into the lymph nodes, and we know the lymph nodes are the superhighway in the endocrine system around the body, right? You can get in the bones, and from what we understand, that this cancer that former President Biden has metastasized, shown up in his bones, or even other organs. So in men that are 75 or over, treatment is hard. In men over 80, it's even tougher. Biden's 82. Think about that. Now, here's the deal. Here's the part that nobody wants to talk about because it seems too soon. But let's talk about it. There's no way that this was a surprise. You just don't wake up on a Monday morning and get diagnosed with aggressive prostate cancer. The testing timeline is months long. You have to get blood work, and a lot of you guys who watch this podcast. If I look at the demographics, I know that you're of a certain age, so you get it because you've been asked about it already. You've gotten your blood work for PSAs done. A lot of us have had the digital rectal exam, some MRI scans, biopsies, and then you get a diagnosis. So we have to ask ourselves, when did this testing start? Was it while he was still in office? It had to be. Was it during the 2024 campaign? It had to be. Because let's be real, the Bidens we saw on camera on those last few months wasn't just a little tired. He was slurring words, he was freezing mid-sentence, he was staring off during key moments, and the media told us it was just a stutter, or he's got a cold. No, it was cover. Because if the public had known the sitting president was battling aggressive cancer, the entire primary season would have flipped upside down. There's no way they could have kept the illusion going that he was fit to serve another term. Now, we can't just talk about the loyalists, because there are definitely Joe Biden loyalists that would have done anything, and we've talked about that in previous shows. They would have done anything. But we got to talk about the other guilty party. It's the media. You remember what happened when Trump walked slowly down a ramp, remember? CNN spent 3 days asking if he had Parkinson's. When he coughed once during a rally, NBC rolled out a panel of pulmonologists. But Biden, falling asleep in summits, shaking hands with people who weren't there, mumbling nonsense into microphones, and every time the media was it was normal or just old folksy Joe, they weren't just covering for him, they were covering for the entire Democratic leftist power structure that wanted to get him across the finish line in 2024, no matter the cost. They lied to keep a corpse of a campaign alive. And now that he was out of office, now they tell us. So, listen, ask yourself, what else was hidden? What medical memos, what test results, what classified briefings were hidden from the American people? Because this wasn't just about health. This was about control. I mean, all those times where, every year they have their checkup and he gets a clean bill of health. Really? Folks, what we're witnessing is a political version of elder abuse. And it goes deeper than Joe Biden. We're talking about a system. The DC insiders, party strategists, media consultants, billionaire donors that propped up this man who wasn't capable of fulfilling the role of commander-in-chief because they feared the alternatives. Kamala Harris. They tried to keep this hidden because they didn't have any faith or trust in Kamala Harris or Gavin Newsom, Pete Buttigieg. So they were just going to roll the dice with Joe. I think they drugged him up. They shoved him out there. They gave him no cards out on the stage, hoping that he'd make it through another speech. It's really not compassion or loyalty. It's exploitation. And now that he's no longer useful, they're rewriting the script. A tragic ending for a great leader. You will see this brave battle with illness. But don't forget, these people weren't honest when it counted. And they are hoping that you will move on without asking any of these tough questions. Okay, so what does this mean going forward? Well, first, don't let the legacy spin doctors tell you that Joe Biden was a strong, effective president in the face of illness. Unfortunately, he was not. And the proof is in the policies, the record inflation, the foreign debacles, the broken border, and the confusion at the highest level. Second, hold the media accountable. Demand transparency from every candidate running for national office in 2028. If they want the job, we have a right to know their mental and physical fitness. Third, keep asking why the American people are always the last to find out. Whether it's cancer, corruption, classified documents found in the garage next to a green Corvette. It's the green color that really bothered me. We deserve better than cover stories and compassion theater. Look. I don't take joy or happiness in anyone's health crisis. I've had health crises of my own. Cancer is brutal. I wouldn't wish it on anyone, not even a political opponent. But this isn't about Biden's pain here. It's about our right to the truth, especially when the stakes are this high. They lied, they hid, they spun. Now they want us to light a candle and forget it. But here on the Morning Report, we remember. We ask, and we don't move on just because the PR team says the show's over. My name is Willie Lawson. Until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.